Yeah, it's not about health, it's about sexuality. The war is not about health, it's about the creative potential of the human being. The creative potential of the human being has been hacked for thousands of years. The reason is simple. Inside the human being, the man and the woman, the man has one half of the power, the woman has the other half of the power, and when this power comes, you have an atomic force that's able to build or give birth to God and create worlds. So let's pretend you're an alien. This is not to say I believe in aliens or believe in any way, shape, or form that theory. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm just saying let's pretend. And you want to conquer a people because you want these people to work for you for whatever reason. The first thing you need to do is convince them to work for you. If they're strong and healthy, why would they want to work for you? So that's the first thing. Now, how am I going to convince them? It's impossible. Now I have to separate the man from the woman. If I separate this one from that one, that means the two powers that create an atomic power that's able to create worlds. I separate this one and that one from one another. They're divided, the war is over. We've already won. Now it's just a question of time. Now we can take their sexual power, their generative power, their power to create, manipulate them psychologically in order to use their power to build what we want. This is exactly what you see. So when I say health, it means a lot of things for different people, but health for me is one thing. Your energetic circuitry functions optimally, ideally, smoothly. And that means we start with the foundation and the sexual power. So in order to conquer a people, you need to separate the man from the woman. As you can see, this is exactly what's going on and has been going on for a long time. This is not new. We're just reaching a new apex. This has been going on for countless ages. God knows. I don't know, right? But for a long time. Because we need to use their sexual power to build our zoo. So you cannot separate health from sexuality. Although, again, I'm stressing, when I say sexuality, your average person, I remember when I was a dumbass, when you say the word sex, I'm thinking porn. I'm thinking masturbation, I'm thinking lust, I'm thinking about a girl's ass and ejaculating, I'm thinking about macking a girl in a club. My mind is confused. I'm thinking about I'm like a gangster in a video. This is not sexuality, this is twistedry. This has got nothing to do with the sexual power, right? This is a fart. When I say sexuality, I'm talking about power, real power. That's inside of you that when you combine it with a woman's power, can give birth to a god. Of course, you don't understand that because what comes from a woman's womb today is a sick infant. A confused individual who's so confused doesn't know if he's a man or a woman. You understand? So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to conquer a people, you need to, and you want to enslave them, you need to confuse them. You need to create a separation between he and she, so that you can use this game of polarity to harness their power so that they do what you want. If you study the history of Christianity, you'll see exactly what they've done. They're not the only ones. This has been happening for a long time. So health is not separated from sexuality. It's one and the same. Sexuality is the foundational energy that it must circulate freely throughout your body to enlighten you, to strengthen you, to heal you, to nourish you. Yeah, so no, the war is not about health. The war is about sexual power. How can we squeeze sexual power more in order to have more control and push people towards a specific direction even more? So we can say it's health, but in reality it's not about health. It's about human resources, it's about man and woman, and it's about what's interesting in a man and a woman. Look at it from a zoo place. What do I care about a man and a woman? What do they do for me? Well, when they combine together, first they can create other human beings, and each one of these human beings, when they work in collaboration together, can create a world. Worlds. Literally. If you go back in time, the lion is doing exactly what the lion is doing. The lion has been doing what he's doing since ever the lion exists. What other creature in nature builds worlds? What other creature in nature has the capacity to destroy the world he lives in. That's a very special creature. Well, that's the human being. So the human being has the capacity, because of his twisted sexual energy that is creating a chronic inflammation of his nervous system and madness in his mind, in an attempt to find and have a grasp and control of nature, is able to create an atomic bomb. Let's use this as a simple basic example. It's a little rudimentary, but it'll do. That technically could destroy everything we know. And this is nothing, let's not talk about CERN, and let's not talk about other things. I'm just keeping it simple. Well, who creates that? Well, that's man and woman. Squeeze their sexual energy, create this schism between the two. It creates an inflammation in your nervous system because you just separated things that are meant to go together. It creates such a pressure, and they've channeled that pressure now. Great, look around. Tell me I'm wrong. So, is this about health? Yeah, at the end of the day, it's exactly about health, but not health from a fitness point of view. Health meaning that your nervous system is functional optimally, and the nervous system's channeling generative energy, or in other words, sexual power, in order to be able to create. So the interest of a human being is that the human being can create. The question is, what is he going to create? Is he going to create an empire of God, or an empire of Dharma, meaning the true way, or the world we live in? Well, clearly the human being is not constructed the world we live in out of his own free will. Clearly, because why would anybody want to create a world where there's war, hatred, and animosity between the two pieces that are made to be together? It doesn't make any sense. I love women, and I'm going to create a world where we fight always and we hate each other to the point that we want to switch roles? No, this is madness. This makes no sense. Of course not. So this is obviously engineered. I don't want to get into this right now, but you understand. Why else? Look at the world we've created for ourselves. So like I said in the previous series, I said we're in a zoo, and the zoo is manipulating the animals to construct their own cage, which is essentially, at the end of the day, a supreme battery of sexual generative power that can be fed on and used for whatever purpose, which is another subject. Just look around. This is not like complex to see. Just look calmly with the eyes of a mature child, and you'll see it's obvious. So now we've reached, with the COVID wars, it's like we're taking it to a whole other level. It's like we're escalating, we're going from like here to the roof. And this also shows that this is time for a new phase, the new zoo, the new upgraded zoo, and everything that was before is no longer going to be accepted, and we're going into a new regime. And that new regime, no one can imagine it. Even if you read Klaus Schwab's book, you cannot fathom it, even though they tell you cannot imagine the experience of it because we've never experienced such a thing. But obviously, this is what they're doing. What's my opinion on it is not the point, but clearly it's obvious. And how are they doing it? By squeezing all the more and separating even more. Now, not just man and woman, everyone. Man from man, woman from woman. Just like creating such a tension of sexuality. Sexuality means not porn. It means sexual creative generative power. And leaving people in the places of like just like dumbfounded to the extreme. Well, is this a war on health? Yeah, at the end of the day. But just not the way people understand. It's not about a microbe or a virus flying, trying to invade you. It's not about a vaccine or no vaccine. This is another subject. We'll address it at another point in time. No, this is a war on the human being, and that intelligence wants to extract from human beings their power. And their power is sexual power, generative power, the capacity to generate, to birth worlds and other people who can birth worlds. Now that's a macro vision. So then when you come back down to earth and you want to talk about the price of Bitcoin, you're like, yeah, okay, it's great. Bitcoin is going up today, 4.86%. Congratulations. I got nothing against Bitcoin. I'm trying to say none of this has any meaning unless you have a greater sense of perspective of what's really going on, because this is happening to you. It's happening to all of us. It's happening to your family. And if you want to have a family tomorrow, this is going to happen to your family tomorrow. You better you better know what the fuck is going on. If you don't know what's going on, there's no future for you. That's the end of that. Think about this. Like, this is 2022 today. We're in January 2022. Let's pretend you're pregnant now and you're going to give labor in a minute. Your child is never going to know anything besides this world that we're living in, as like with a mask on. If you're born in a hospital, mommy's got a mask on. If there's a daddy or another mommy or God knows what else is there, they got a mask on. Hey, I found a picture of a little newborn. They got a swab up his nose. Well, this is what you know. And in a minute, everybody's vaccinated. And they're going to be expecting you to get vaccinated. So now there's a certain kind of resistance. Imagine in 5 years or 10 years. Come on, this is not going to last forever. So this is the world we're building. We're building. They're building, in which we are in. What kind of person is that going to give? Already people are stupid. With all due respect, and this is not disrespect to people. I'm like, people are dumb. They don't know what the hell's going on. Especially the younger generation. They have no sense what happens in 20 years. Like, how disconnected are you going to be? And on top of that, it's not, they have a phone now. Now they got a metaverse they can plug themselves in, which means they're even further. Like, if I'm in a bus on my telephone, I could just lift my head up if I make the effort to just use the muscles of my delt behind my neck, right? My trapezius. My bad, I apologize. Right? Now they're going to be literally plugged in. And they don't even have a reason to go outside, like it is already now. So where are they going to be? Where their mind is going to be? I don't go shopping. I buy everything online. I don't want to go anywhere. So imagine how it's going to be in a couple of years when it's going to be even simpler and easier and even more accessible. When they can have drones bringing your shit at home like in a matter of 2 hours. So imagine what kind of human being is being breeded. This is what, if it's not, it's literally the Matrix. I don't want to give too much props. First of all, let's talk about the Matrix. It's going to be a small tangent. First of all, the Matrix was not written by the Wachowski brothers or sisters, depending on whatever they are. Nah, it was stolen from a lady. You do your research, because that now allows me to talk about the Matrix and not feel that it's dumb as fuck. So anyways, the main storyline is literally this. Now anybody can understand the Matrix in any way they want, depending on their mood. But at the end of the day, what is it? There's a form of intelligence that is using human beings as a source of battery. I'm telling you, this is exactly what's going on. We don't have to push it into technology and Terminator shit. No. Just like, look. And in a minute, they're going to be living in a machine. What's the difference? This is literally happening. So for a person to come, this is going back to the Matrix storyline. So for a person to be able to write a story like that, this is not a normal person. This is a seer of some sort. And these two cats, whether they're girls or guys, depending on whatever, right? They clearly didn't come up with this. I just want to wrap this up. Do your research. It's really interesting. And the lady that wrote this, she's a special lady. God bless her. And let's move on. So this is what's going on. So, is it a war on health? Yeah, it's a war on health. But health, as I said, is the foundation of the human experience. So it's a war on the foundation of the human experience. It's kind of like the final chop. You know when you're cutting, let's say, a bamboo, and you're like kind of like at the end, there's like one little thread left. This is the last, just like to sever the thing. So this is no joke, and what's happening is no joke. Everybody's dealing with it the best that they can, how they can. I genuinely wish the best to everybody, but at this stage, it's almost everybody for themselves or your group with other groups. And along the way, if you want to pick up some members that have value and that can help, if you can get on some kind of ship, you better get on some kind of ship.